And welcome back to The Watchmen. They were a powerful people during the time of Jesus, and they spent a lot of time in the Negev desert in southern Israel, where we visited this week with Elliot Chodoff. I'm talking about the Nabataeans. Now, despite their wealth and influence, the Nabataeans are never mentioned in the Bible. That's why we asked our good friend Danny the Digger Herman to head to an ancient site in the Negev desert to bring us the inside story of this mysterious people who just might have a link to the three wise men. Danny, take it away.
It is the Gospel of Matthew that gives us the most detailed account of the birth of Jesus. And among others, it records three wise men coming from the east to adorn the newborn. And upon seeing him and his mother, they present unique gifts: gold, myrrh, and frankincense. Who could be those people? As an archaeologist studying this region for many years, the region of the Holy Land and its neighboring cultures, I am of the opinion that it could only be referring to one group of people: the Nabataeans. The Nabataeans were a Semitic group of people who in the time of Jesus had a special economical niche of transporting goods from the southern end of the Arabian Peninsula, as well as Eastern Africa, and even goods from India across the desert and up to the Eastern Mediterranean at the port of Gaza. No one else knew how to carry the loads through this harsh environment. Only the Nabataeans had the knowledge of hidden water reservoirs that could, in a way, refuel their camels and so manage this journey. The goods were of various types, but it is the myrrh, the frankincense, which would be burnt on incense burners like these and produce a very special and pleasant odor that was very popular for both domestic use and rituals. And the last 5 days of the journey would be through the southern area of the Holy Land, through the Negev. This site, Ovdat, was one of them. Ovdat, named after a Nabataean king, would be a major rest place after crossing the Arava, the Ramon crater, and before completing the last stage of the journey, reaching Gaza, where the reward will finally be given to them in a lot of cash. Back then, gold. Ovdat started as a caravanserai in the middle of the Negev, halfway between the Ramon crater and the spring of Ovdat. This hilltop originally was used by the Nabataeans probably for sacrificial activities. This slab of stone seemed to have been used for rituals. The grooves leading into a small basin were perhaps to enable the slaughter of small animals by the Nabataeans to thank their gods, Dushara and El-Uza, for achieving this long journey, at least up to this point. And behind me, the columns, the Nabataean capitals, were all probably part of a Nabataean cultic center. Ovdat continued to be inhabited also in Roman and Byzantine times, and in fact in the Byzantine Christian periods, it developed into a small town with 2 churches. Let's take a look at one of them. This basilica-shaped church, added in the citadel of Ovdat in Byzantine times, demonstrates the impact of Christianity even in the limits of the Roman Empire in the heart of the desert. And yet, although we have a good document of the city center, the residential area of Ovdat, which reflects the daily life here in ancient times, is still waiting to be uncovered by a proper large-scale excavation. Who knows what might be hiding in those caves? Maybe even treasures left by the Nabataeans. Treasures of myrrh, of frankincense, of gold. These might be waiting here to be uncovered, reflecting on this legendary wealth of the Nabataeans.
Thanks again to Watchman contributor Danny the Digger Herman for bringing us the inside story of the mysterious Nabataeans. Up next, my final thoughts on what all of this means for you. Stick around.